The Martin Houston Show with Martin, Xavier, and Simeon. Martin is a national championship fullback from the 1992 Alabama Crimson Tide, known for his bruising runs and devastating blocks. Now he's bulldozing through sports talk with that same championship intensity. Joining him is his son, Xavier, a savant of football knowledge and statistical insight. He's your go-to source for the latest recruiting news and insider updates from across the Bama Nation. And Simeon, the thinker and contemplator, bringing you insight and knowledge that is logical, thoughtful, and on point. Together, they deliver fair and balanced analysis from an insider's perspective with real conversations where the callers, the listeners, and the online maniacs get in on the action by sharing their thoughts, their comment, and their reaction. Join our online maniacs at facebook.com/The Martin Houston Show. You're listening to Tide 100.9 and 1230 WTBC. It's time for kickoff. So buckle up and get ready, because this is the sound of Bama sports. The Martin Houston Show with Martin, Xavier, and Simeon is live. Roll, Tide, roll!
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome into the Martin Houston Show with Martin, Xavier, Simeon, and we have DC Capstone Report joining the conversation this morning. Man, we got a great show lined up for you. Gonna have a little deal, no deal this morning. How about that? Little deal, no deal. We'll finish this statement. We're going to do both of those this morning, kind of working around the Brandon Sorsby conversation. Deal, no deal. If Sorsby plays in 2026, it represents him and gambling. I should say him playing and being allowed to play represents the tip of the iceberg, meaning that college sports is headed for a Titanic type of future, meaning that it doesn't seem like that big a deal at this moment, but it is going to be the downfall if something's not done. Let that sink in. Do you think this is a big deal or not? Big deal or not in terms of Sorsby getting approved? He got his injunction yesterday. He's eligible for 2026. We're going to do a little finish this statement as well. Uh-oh, Xavier, you getting called out.
I was going to say, uh-oh.
Somebody watching the video said, how you going to be a Braves fan wearing a Yankees jersey? You have to explain it when it's time. I'll let you explain it when it's time. So,
in a sec.
we're going to break down the story. It could take up the whole show because there's so many things about this that we can look into in terms of athletic directors speaking up and commissioners speaking up. Why in some cases one particular commissioner chose to speak up when he's been silent on everything else. We'll get a legal opinion on what does this open up for future for the NCAA from a gambling thing. Is the NCAA in college football and all of that, are they hypocrites punishing this young man for going to gambling, but choosing to set the national championship game in Las Vegas. And then thinking it's okay if you just put a little thing at the bottom, if at the bottom of the commercials with DraftKings and all these other, if you have a gambling problem. But if you're drunk, give the guy your keys. Well, the problem is you don't think straight when you're drunk. The problem is if you have a gambling problem, you don't think you have a problem, or it's one that's outside of your control. So are they being hypocrites? So we're going to break all of that down this morning, and we invite you to get in on the conversation on the Empowerment Training and Consulting Hotline, and that's 205-342-9904, 205-342-9904. We invite that conversation, and we also invite you to jump in on the live stream chat. Give us your thoughts, your comments, and your reactions. Lisa Rawls already jumping in on it, and of course, Jacob Powell already calling Xavier out, saying he looked hypocritical. But I think Xavier has a valid reason, so we'll let him defend himself in just a moment. But we invite you to get in on the conversation. If you have an angle, a thought, a topic you want to get to, you can bring it in. And normally we would get right into that conversation. But before we do, because Alan wants to talk a little basketball, we're going to go to him in just a second. But before we do that, good morning, Ash. Good morning, Simeon. Good morning, DC. How you guys doing?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Doing great.
All right, X, defend yourself. Jacob Powell called you out, said that you're a hypocrite for wearing.
Just real quick.
Stay connected. So
It says "Dad" on the back for those listening. My little man was a Yankee this spring, and so I was just supporting my boy. This is not a Yankee jersey of a player.
That's Cottondale Yankees, not New York Yankees.
Cottondale Yankees. I'm just a dad supporting his kid.
Yep. So, oh man, it's gonna be fun. We're gonna break it all down. We're gonna talk about it. Like I said, we're gonna get to this football thing and the NCAA and the rulings, and all I can tell you is you're in trouble when you're saying and you're begging for Congress to do something. The only group that I would say is inept at doing anything worthwhile comparably to the NCAA would be Congress. They two peas in a pod. So that's how bad it is. Simeon, you want to hold that thought till we get out?
Yeah, we're gonna get to it.
All right, Alan, you're in with Simeon, Xavier, and DC. What's on your mind?
Good morning. Xavier, I gotta turn my back on you. No matter what, you're not gonna tell me they didn't have a Braves team that was in the summer league. So I gotta turn my back on you.
They didn't.
You should have put your son on the Braves. They didn't.
They didn't.
Okay.
It was the Yankees, the Dodgers, and the Marlins for his age group. Yankees, Dodgers, Marlins for his age group.
Okay. Well, you get a pass then, boy. I finna say you turn on me now. You turn on me. I finna say now. Okay. Never. Okay. Well, talking to your brother now. It seemed like Big Boy showed up last night. As soft as he is, he showed up and actually tried to win a game last night. I have no love for Wembley, whatever his name is, the W man. I have no love for him. I think he's soft. I think he's weak, and he needs to learn how to put his back to the goal. He can't do it because he's too weak. And now I'm gonna leave y'all with that. But I cannot wait till I get them. I cannot wait till New York wins and I get my autograph. You get my autograph shirt. And DC, he had to sign it too. I want everybody to sign it in the morning because I will get my shirt. I will get the 2 shirts that I need because New York will win this series in 5 games.
Tim, did you? I don't know if Simeon has heard this. Did you hear what the deal was made when you were out last week?
What? Hold on. No. What happened?
If New York wins, we have to sign 2 of my shirts for Alan. Me, you, all of us, the whole crew has to sign a shirt for him. So,
and if San Antonio wins, he's gonna come up here to Tuscaloosa and take us all out to lunch one day.
Sounds like a deal.
yeah, all right. We need women to show up 3 more times. 3 more times.
It ain't gonna happen. It ain't gonna happen. He ain't gonna happen. He got lucky last night. It ain't gonna happen. That's got to be the softest big man I've ever seen in my life.
Hey,
He's
Alan.
taking cheeks like on Brunson.
Alan, I literally, I don't know if he's soft. I don't know how strong he is yet. This is what I thought. I said, if his body can transform half of the way Giannis did, the NBA is gonna be in trouble. That's what you better be hoping for. You better hope he stays long, skinny, because he's already, hey, Alan, I have to leave you with this. I have to leave you with this, Alan. There's 2 players in the history of the NBA at his age to get 35-5. You know who the other one was?
Oh, please don't say LeBron James. Please don't say that.
No.
No.
It was Magic Johnson.
Okay, see, of course we can go with that. Magic is a generational player. What? So is the W man. I can't say his name, but he is just soft. He just soft.
Wimby.
Okay.
I won't disagree.
Wimpy. That his name, Wimpy?
Close enough, Victor.
Okay. I won't call him Wimp then.
Thanks, Alan. Appreciate that, man. Alan, that's right. Alan gets our NBA and Major League Baseball conversation. If Alan don't call in, we may not ever talk about those two. But anyway, Victor, I watched that game, and I don't know if I've ever. New York is mean. Like Bronson just be bulldogging people, throwing all elbows and everything, and they don't even call it. I'm like these dudes travel, they foul, all of them. I'm not talking about they let the Spurs play him rough. What you seeing in a little bit of this, Simeon, just magnify that. That's what it used to be like in the NBA. Every game. That's why people say guys like Steph never would have made it back in the day.
I'll be quick with this, but all I'm saying, these past couple series, like with the Spurs playing rough against the Thunder and letting them play, this has been the most physical the NBA has been, even in the playoffs in a while.
I agree with that. And so all I can tell you is this team kind of reminds me of Chicago when they were trying to get their sea legs going against the older Pistons. And that's what you're going to have in San Antonio. You better get them this year. You better beat them now, because they're the second youngest team to make it to the finals. And the youngest team was like 76 or 77, I think. Seattle Supersonics or something like that. So you better get them now. But anyway, we're going to transition our conversation on the other side to football, to this whole Sorsby conversation. We're going to get DC's thoughts, legal opinions, and thoughts, and all of that as we move forward right here on the Martin Houston Show. We invite you to get in on the conversation. Let us know what you're thinking. Is Cody Campbell going to be the downfall of college sports? We'll talk about it on the other side.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
Tuscaloosa traffic now from the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center. A very good morning to you on your terrific Tuesday. Moving right along, not seeing any severe delays right now in the happenings right now. Or if you're traveling on McFarland westbound at University Drive, that's starting to slow up just a bit. And then we move with ease on Lurleen Wallace, traveling nicely in between 15th and McFarland. With your Tuscaloosa traffic now, Tammy Thomas.
This report is sponsored by Dell Technologies.
Save more at Townsend Nissan. Sentra, $195 a month. Rogue, $288 a month. $6,000 off Pathfinders and 3 years of free oil changes. Townsend Nissan, your family in the car business.
Interruptions will always come up at work, but with built-in intelligence and optimized battery, the Dell Pro powered by Intel Core Ultra with vPro is built for those who stay in the flow. Built for you. Dell.com/Dell-Pro.
Get your life back when the world's gone crazy. Get your life back, and I don't mean maybe when you know you got to have a friend. You call 833-833-MIZ and get your life back, baby. Get your life back, baby. Stephen Mezrano, Alabama Injury Lawyers. Mez wins.
For adults with Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms, every choice matters. Tremfya offers self-injection or intravenous infusion from the start. Tremfya is administered as injections under the skin or infusions through a vein every 4 weeks, followed by injections under the skin every 4 or 8 weeks. If your doctor decides that you can self-inject Tremfya, proper training is required. Tremfya is a prescription medicine used to treat adults with moderately to severely active Crohn's disease and adults with moderately to severely active ulcerative colitis. Serious allergic reactions, increased risk of infections or lower ability to fight them, and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or need a vaccine. Explore what's possible. Ask your doctor about Tremfya today. Call 1-800-526-7736 to learn more or visit tremfyaradio.com.
Hey, I'm Martin Houston, and I want to tell you about exciting news happening at Box Eye Care. They've moved to their new location, bringing you a brand new lab, stylish new frames, and a fresh look just for you. Enjoy their expanded frame inventory, competitive prices, and faster service, all with the same great level of service you've come to know and trust. Discover this full-service eye care at Box Eye Care's new location. With their in-house lab, they offer unbeatable value and one of the largest frame collections in town. Schedule your eye exam today and walk out with new glasses in less than an hour in most cases. Visit boxeyecare.com. That's boxeyecare.com, or call 205-342-0660. That's 205-342-0660. Visit them at 5003 Oscar Baxter Drive. That's Box Eye Care. Your vision, our priority.
Tide 100.9 Tuscaloosa weather.
Here's your Tuscaloosa and West Alabama forecast. High pressure over Texas starting to establish itself. That's going to keep some dry weather in the forecast for us here next several days. Showers are going to be few and far between if we see anything at all. 91 the high today, 73 tonight, 92 tomorrow, and 92 as we move into Thursday with sunshine. Storm chances begin to go back up on Friday. Richard DeWetting at the Weather Channel for Town Square Media, Tuscaloosa.
It's 71 degrees in Tuscaloosa.
The sound of Bama Sports. Your show, your team. The Martin Houston Show on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Welcome back into the Martin Houston Show with Martin, Xavier, and Simeon. It's a terrific Tuesday, which means that we have DC Capstone report in on the conversation. It's a toss-up Tuesday, which means we can go anywhere, and we're going right down the road of, or maybe we're following the pathway of the Titanic. See where this sport we call college football, or college sports in general, is it the Titanic? And did it hit an iceberg on yesterday? Did it hit an iceberg on yesterday? Deal, no deal, guys, as we talk about this Brandon Sorsby thing, is the fact that the NCAA can't even enforce gambling as a whole, and specifically a young man that gambled and bet on his own team. Well, I don't know if he bet for or against, but we know it was his own team. A self-admitted person with the problem. This is not some allegation. This is a person who said, I have a problem. I am going to seek treatment. And they can't even enforce an existing rule. This is not a new rule. They can't even enforce their own rules. Was that the iceberg that struck the hole or the bottom part of the Titanic we call college football, college sports? DC, you go first.
Well, I think it's definitely an iceberg. I think it's one of those things that we saw coming at some point. There's going to be something that kind of tips. We in the legal field we call it the tipping point, and this was the tipping point that when you have an institution like the NCAA that has rules that most everybody, I would say the majority of everyone, I don't see you have anybody arguing for this ruling. Most of the talking heads, even, and other coaches and ADs are arguing that this is not right. In that, so you have a rule that everyone pretty much agrees with, and the NCAA has a rule that's been in place for a long time. It's not just the NCAA, but other sports have similar rules. Other sports have been able to enforce those rules. But
it cost the greatest hitter of our time.
Yeah.
Got him banned
Hall of Fame. Yeah.
and out of the Hall of Fame for
lifetime ban.
Yeah.
We've seen some NFL players in the NFL. They have the same type of sponsors that are gambling associations. They have teams in Las Vegas. They have gambling affiliates, but yet they have rules that you can't bet on your own team, which sounds like that's a pretty good rule. And so, even when you have such a subject that appears to the average reasonable person that this should not happen, and then you have a court that rules against you simply because it's in Texas in Lubbock County and rules against you, and it just tells you that so what that tells you is the NCAA doesn't have any power to enforce its own rules across the nations in these local places. And so remember that legally, this is not a federal court. This was a local court in Lubbock, Texas, that had a judge that decided that they could take upon themselves to make this player for their team eligible when it goes against all the weight of the evidence. We're not talking about somebody whose allegations are innocent to proven guilty. We're talking about somebody who's admitted that they voted, that they had a problem, and that they bet on their own team. And we're not talking about one or two bets. We're talking about 9,000 bets over a pretty good span of over almost $100,000 in money wagering. So we're not talking about somebody who had wagered $1 on DraftKings for a fantasy football team. We're talking about something different than that. And all these facts were not in dispute. They were all agreed to. And yet you can't enforce those rules. So I just still think that's another situation where in other words, you're getting so far you can't even have the NCAA enforce a rule that everyone agrees with, then they have no power.
It is astonishing to me, guys. When this all broke yesterday, I was thinking there was a quarterback at Iowa State about 3 years ago named Hunter Deckers who was ruled ineligible for placing $2,800 worth of bets. Never played D1 football again. Had to go back down, play JUCO for a year, and his career was over. Brendan Sorsby, over $90,000, as DC said, almost $100,000 worth of bet. And just because the judge goes, I want my team to win this year, is getting to play. We talked a good portion yesterday about the 5 for 5, the rules for eligibility moving forward, and who cares what rules the NCAA puts in? If this is the case, I mean, seriously, who cares? Well, this dude admitted to having an addiction to gambling, and he is getting to play because some judge who's probably a Texas Tech grad said you can play. Is he a Texas Tech grad?
In their entire staff. I don't know what they call it. Justice Board staff was Texas Tech graduates.
This is a joke.
Yeah.
Brendan Sorsby has turned college football, and Brendan Sorsby and Texas Tech have turned college sports into a joke. The NCAA is truly a mockery at this point.
Simeon.
I just didn't realize. Like, I'm looking at it some more, and it says he funneled over $60,000 to friends and family to place bets on his behalf. Like, so this wasn't just like him, pulling up on his phone and saying, I'm on DraftKings or whatever the other gambling sites are, and doing all these bets himself. He knew what he was doing. Obviously, what he was doing is wrong, but you actually went another step to try to get out of trouble because you have that much of a problem. So his friends, his family doesn't care about him that much. His friends doesn't care about him. Because you can say what you want. If this was just him doing all this on his own and he was hiding it from everybody, that's different. But friends and family helping you out as well, this is a problem for him. This is not going away.
It's like the family and friends who has a son or a daughter who's an addict, and they help them get the drugs.
That's exactly what they're doing because he's addicted to this.
So here's the question, guys. The tipping point, what that means is something is going to happen one way or the other. And I use the Titanic example because there were ships in the area that could have helped the Titanic. But the Titanic was so arrogant that they did not follow their own protocol and procedure to receive that assistance, right, DC?
That's correct.
So now, based on what you've seen, is this the Titanic moment? And do you feel like, based on what you're seeing from these ADs and other conferences, are they going to, are they like, okay, our ship is going down, guys. Our maiden voyage, our maiden voyage ship that we thought was unsinkable, college sports, it's taking on water. Are they now doing and responding in such a way that maybe, just maybe, based on what we're seeing, that they're going to try to save this ship? Is this finally the thing that makes? Because the only way college sports, and I'll say this, and then the only way college sports is going to get saved is the people who keep paying these players, giving the portals, approving the votes, and all of this stuff, keep doing it until they begin to self-police. It's not going to change. DC?
I agree with that statement 100%. And maybe this is the catalyst that will cause them to step up and say, hey, look, this is just not right. I mean, there's certain things that just aren't right. This is just not right. We can't do that. I think I saw yesterday a lot of ADs come out against this, some that have been quiet before. I think I've seen some football teams, other coaches talk about it. And then I've seen some presidents of the universities talk about it. So we've got a good group of people here now all on the same page. If they want to do something, this is the time to do it. If it's an opportunity, you need to do it immediately to get something done. And I don't know whether that's doing something with the NCAA, going into a super conference, or whatever. Somebody needs to do something to get the word across, and get the thing across. But number one is, I mean, you got a team out there. And this doesn't just start with this. It's all locality, but you can go back to this team, Texas Tech, that has kind of come on the scene here quickly because of the money that's driving them.
Because of one man.
They have a billionaire who has more money than he can throw as much money as he wants.
Cody Campbell is the iceberg.
He is the iceberg. He has more money than anybody else in the college sports world that can donate the money and not worry about it. And so
DC, he is, and this is not a shot at our friends across the state, but he is to Texas Tech what the Louders were to Auburn. He is running the program. And even worse, he is like the president. He's the chairman of the Texas Tech system or regions, board of regions. He's the guy that's over all of the Texas Tech system. It would be like Alabama having a billionaire over UAB, Alabama, UH, and then having the money to just funnel as much as they want, anywhere they want, how they want.
Yeah.
And then turn around. He is. I'm sorry. He is the problem. He's supposedly supporting this act to save college sports. The things he's doing is going to actually
the catalyst. Yeah, he's the catalyst of destroying it.
So,
correct. All this started a while back. So what I'm saying is this didn't happen overnight. It didn't happen. But now we got a tipping point where where there's an opportunity to do something. My question is, will they? Will the powers that be step up, come together over this? And is this something that solidifies their, stance together, to come together and do something to put some guardrails up, as we said before? Otherwise, we're just going to run off the rails.
I got a question I want you guys to answer. When we come back, Simeon, we'll start with you. Be thinking on this question. This situation is the situation. DC, you said it best. The schools, the ADs, the NCAA, all of there's been no one that I know of other than Texas Tech come out. Even with Bediako and all the other situations, there was at least multiple schools who were or multiple programs that was at least on that side, right? And, that's that. But in this situation, no one is coming and saying they're supporting Texas Tech publicly anyway. And so they all agree with this rule. The question is the fact that they are doing this, are they trying to put pressure via their own means and methods to force Texas Tech to sacrifice one for the many, or will Texas Tech be continue down this path? Are they trying to force them to sacrifice Sorsby for the many and give back power to the NCAA? We'll talk about it on the other side.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
Tuscaloosa traffic now from the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center. A very good morning to you on your terrific Tuesday. Moving right along, not seeing any severe delays right now in the happenings right now. Or if you're traveling on McFarland Westbound at University Drive, that's starting to slow up just a bit. And then we move with ease on Lurleen Wallace, traveling nicely in between 15th and McFarland. With your Tuscaloosa traffic now, Tammy Thomas.
If you're looking for a golf cart or repairs to yours, stop by Dixie Custom Carts on Greensboro Avenue in Tuscaloosa. They sell Club Car, Donago, and Atlas golf carts. They can customize it to your specifications with a lift, tires, wheels, and lights. Dixie Custom Carts also carries a full line of parts and accessories, including chargers, windshields, hitches, Bluetooth kits, and so much more. If your golf cart needs repairs, the pros at Dixie Custom Carts can handle the job. Dixie Custom Carts, Greensboro Avenue in Tuscaloosa.
Halito, this is Choctaw Princess Lexi Rodriguez inviting you to celebrate the 76th Choctaw Indian Fair, July 14th through the 18th.
Immerse yourself in the creative spirit of the Choctaw people through arts, crafts, dance, and music. Purchase one-of-a-kind beadwork and basketry at the Arts and Crafts Pavilion.
And don't miss midway rides, nightly concerts, and the granddaddy of all field sports, Choctaw Stickball.
Visit ChoctawIndianFair.com and like us on Facebook.
Hope to see you there. Hachapisa Lajige.
Indeed presents hires you can't afford to get wrong, like customer service associate at a dry cleaning shop.
Yeah, hi. I'm here to pick up my suit.
Ah, yes. Here you go.
There must be a mistake. This is too small.
It shrunk a whole lot. Look on the bright side. Now you have a suit you can give to a child.
This is the job for sponsored jobs. This is what happens when you don't sponsor your job on Indeed. Next time, get matched with quality candidates with Indeed sponsored jobs. Visit Indeed.com/hire now and sponsor your job today.
It started with my great-grandfather, grandfather, then father,
then me.
So, Dad, who comes after you?
Who said anything about after me?
I'm just saying.
I'm Tom Osmond.
And I'm Sally Osmond. There's a good chance we found rings for your grandparents when they got married. And now we want to help you.
Bracelets, earrings, and precious gemstones for all occasions.
In the Tuscaloosa Galleria between Edgar's and Joey's and FincherandOsmond.com.
What does it mean to advertise and do your marketing with Town Square Media Tuscaloosa? Melissa started her business in 2014. What would you say to someone considering Town Square Media Tuscaloosa?
My experience with Town Square Media has been awesome, and I would definitely recommend it to anyone. I think that this is the first time in my marketing experience that I've been able to see my return on investment. I would definitely say in the past that has not been the case. In this, I like knowing that that's 100%. A lot of the marketing we've done has been radio. You guys have so much more to offer than that, whether it's, websites, from targeted marketing to radio. You are kind of a one-stop shop, and it makes doing marketing so much easier. So I would definitely recommend it.
For more info on marketing with Town Square Media Tuscaloosa, call 205-345-7200 or click on Advertise with Us on our website.
Interact with the Martin Houston Show by calling us at 205-342-9904 or tuning into the Martin Houston Show on Facebook.
Welcome back into the Martin Houston Show, Martin, Xavier, and Simeon. And as you guys reply, you can to the question that I'm going to ask. Also think through, and you can respond to. Let me be clear. I don't disagree with what Brandon Sorsby has done. Right. In other words, I disagree with what he's done in terms of gambling, and I agree with the NCAA's ruling and eligibility and all of that, because you have to take a stand somewhere. But I understand why he did it, because of the inconsistency of the NCAA. Right? So I'm not necessarily blaming the young man. I mean, he's playing the game that has been allowed to be played. But with that said, I always think of the hypocrisy of college sports and the NFL and all of these sports who say don't gamble, but now they're taking. Simeon and Xavier, when we were growing up, they didn't take money from those types of sponsors. Okay, they didn't allow those types of sponsors to be in the middle. They didn't have the official support, so they changed their mind, but they hadn't changed the ruling for the kids or for the players.
I feel like they didn't start taking those until
recently.
Yeah, until like the last 10 years or so.
Yeah. And so with that said, though, I get that side of it. But this being the tip of the iceberg, one is Cody Campbell. The other one is Sorsby is only the spear, tip of the spear in this case, meaning that there's a lot of kids who are doing what he was doing, because a lot more kids have more money than they've ever had, and they have more access and easier access than they've ever had. So this is a major problem. So I think that's why these ADs and stuff have taken this type of stance, where you see whole conferences saying we're not gonna play. You would understand if the Big 12 said it, right? But now you have the Big 10. Nebraska's came out and said we will not play them. Their AD came out and already said drop them from the schedule if they're on our schedule.
In any sport.
In every sport. And the Big 10 is talking about it. Is this
Georgia
going
did
to
as well.
be, huh?
Georgia AD did as well.
All right. So is this, Simeon, the catalyst that are they hoping that they don't have to implement that rule? Are they hoping that Texas Tech will make a decision to drop one guy, and then in some way they are actually using their clout to self-police their own organization?
I would hope they end up doing that, because if Texas Tech, if it becomes that big of a thing and that big of a catalyst for the rest of college sports, they're going to alienate themselves for one player. that, like X said, I think before the show, has a 13-18 career record as a starter. That doesn't seem quite worth alienating your entire sports department based off of an athlete like that. And that's not a diss to Brendan Sorsby, but when they've come out and said, just in, hadn't even 24 hours since the ruling, and the Big Ten, Georgia, and other schools are already
Multiple
talking
Big
about,
12 ADs.
yeah, are saying, we're not going to play y'all. Well, eventually you're going to run out of schools to play in other sports, not just football. And so I hope that they end up just saying it's not worth it, because they handed him a 2-game suspension, but it's the first 2 games of the season where they're not playing opponents that are worth, that are going to affect, they're going to be able to win them with their backups, essentially.
DC?
Well, I don't hold out much hope in Texas Tech, because I think sometimes you feel like you're, Teflon. You're above the law when you got so much money and do such things. And the reason I say that, I look at the evidence. This is a outlier scenario where everybody's against you, but they had a similar situation with their softball team, where they paid money and got in players, so they had like an all-star softball team. They sprang on the scene from a nowhere, from a nobody, to competing for a national championship. And so last year, once they had competed against the national championship with the Texas the year before, the schools around them pretty much said, "Well, I'm not going to play Texas Tech in a softball in a non-conference game. It's not going to do it. I don't want to put my team against a team of that caliber that early in the season. I just don't want to do that." And so they had a hard time scheduling a game, but they didn't care. They thumbed their nose and they said, "Doesn't matter. That just means you don't want to play us. Hey, we'll play whoever." That sort of thing. That attitude is not the attitude that you're going to see. That's not the attitude I think that is going to resolve this, and so I'm not sure they're going to be able to do that.
And I'll say this. That's why Texas Tech made it to the championship game as an 11 seed. The NCAA tried to punish them when they were selecting them by saying they had a weak non-conference. The difference, DC, is softball versus football. It's one thing, you lose money already in softball. You made it to the college football playoffs in football. You lose that opportunity. The school, maybe they think it's okay, but I think that they'll have to be perfect to get into the playoffs, because I think that even college football playoffs will feel pressure from the schools and the conferences. So I think the only reason I say it's different is it's like, who cares about softball, and I'm not being ugly with that, versus who cares about football. And maybe that
I understand it's different. I understand that. I'm just saying that mentality of those.
Oh, they're arrogant.
If you have that mentality of arrogance over softball, just imagine if you're backed into a corner over football, you're going to say, "No, I got the money. I'm going to do what I want to do." That's the kind of mentality I'm talking about.
And that's why I say Campbell is to Texas Tech what Louder was to Auburn. The arrogance and the pride can come until it costs them everything.
His 2-game suspension, real quick, is against Abilene Christian and Oregon State.
Do what now?
His suspension is against Abilene Christian and Oregon State. That's who he has to be playing against.
Yeah.
That's why they offered up that as a punishment, because it wasn't much of a punishment.
Right.
They can still win those 2 games without him and make it and be undefeated to make it into the college football playoff. They feel like.
It'll be interesting
to answer one question, why isn't the NCAA asking the judge to recuse himself? This is the second judge. A judge already recused himself of the Brendan Sorsby case.
Yeah. And here's the thing we need to say quickly. We dogged Alabama, and we need to be careful, because the reality of it is the Alabama case was ruled correctly to me based on the kind of the legal standards of what the rules were. It's just contrary to everybody else's rulings. And so,
what's the legal rules for this case?
No,
to be ineligible.
Well, not. I mean, from a legal standpoint, I don't know that he didn't break a rule from a legal standpoint. He broke an NCAA rule, and what I'm saying is, that's what I'm saying is Alabama is the one that we dog because he didn't show favoritism like every other judge has. So actually, we probably should be applauding him for having the backbone to do what's right, DC? I mean, he literally was like, I'm not gonna rule just because. But I will say this before we get to Philip. The question, DC, is how big a deal was it that the fact that there's been one commissioner in all of college football that we know came out before the ruling in cases other than this one, and that was Sankey against Alabama. I can't think of a single time anywhere else where he came out or any other came out against these other eligibility rules other than this gambling.
I agree.
And
I think that's true. And that matters, I think.
And that's the problem. That is why this judge in Alabama probably did what he did, was he had the commissioner of the league saying it's wrong. If these other commissioners came out, if Sankey were to speak up and say it's wrong what LSU is doing, it's wrong what Oklahoma is doing, if they were to come out and say that these other things are wrong, then we probably would see different ruling. But they're silent. This is the first time they spoke up, but they didn't speak up before. They're speaking up after.
Right. That's right.
And so that's the question. That's why I say, was this the tipping point that may change it? Philip, you're in with Xavier, Simeon, and DC. What's on your mind?
I missed the first part of your show. You may have covered it, but did you see the front page of Tide 100.9 FM website today?
Mm-hmm.
You
No,
did?
I didn't. Yeah.
You didn't? Okay.
I did. There's more than one thing on there. What? I always look at it.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
NCAA bars 4 former Alabama State basketball players permanently ruled ineligible by the NCAA following an investigation into sports betting and game manipulation.
Right.
So Sorsby is welcomed back with open arms.
Not by the NCAA. I don't like to defend the NCAA. I don't like to defend them, but they ruled him ineligible.
Right. But what will these Alabama State guys do? Will they have any kind of a recourse with the judge now?
If they have the money and they take it to court.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm saying. That's the problem is, Philip, they can take it local. DC, I'll let you comment. But they can take it local and bypass. The NCAA ruled the same way against Sorsby as they did against these guys.
Yeah. And these guys,
they're local courts, what they do. I don't know what these young men would do at Alabama State because I don't know they have the means to do it at Alabama State. This guy, Sorsby, has the means to do it.
Right. Well, we're talking about Texas Tech scheduling, who he's going to be held out against. It sounds to me like everybody's sort of blackballing Texas Tech right now. It's going to be interesting to see what their schedule looks like after this.
If they hold up, if they do what they say they're going to do, that's yet to be seen, Philip. Thanks for that. That's the question, guys. True, false. Real quick, true, false. Will the ADs and the commissioners and the presidents stick together and drop Texas Tech and not schedule Texas Tech in the Power Fours?
I wouldn't, just to prove a point.
You would or wouldn't?
Would Schedule them? I wouldn't schedule them.
No. Will they stick to their guns and actually implement what they're saying right now? Right now they're saying.
Oh, I would. You have to do something.
Will they? Not what you're doing. Not what you would do. Will the commissioners? Will
I don't know.
the ADs? Will the Big 12 have enough manhood to say Texas Tech is not on our schedule? Which means that they can't win their conference because they didn't play any conference games.
I'll say they'll do it. I'll go out and say it because of it. You have to like these. I believe there are still good people that care about these athletes. I still believe that, and there's plenty of them. And there's probably more of them being good than bad. So I believe that they will actually hold up against what they're trying to do and not schedule them in any sport, or at least force their hand to suspend Sorsby.
I'm not sure the Big 12 will do it, but I think the other conferences will.
Yeah, the reality of it is the Big 12 don't play them. I misspoke. They'll actually end up winning it because they'll have all forfeit wins. So, oh man.
Could the Big 12 commissioner, could they like circumvent? I mean, because I'm not trying to be funny. If you can circumvent the NCAA, you can circumvent
the forfeit.
Deeming them a forfeit. They're ineligible. They're playing an ineligible player.
I don't think that Big 12 will do it because I think Texas Tech provides them too much money in the conference that they're in. And the Big 12 is shaky as it is. I don't think that Big 12 would come out against Texas Tech.
That's crazy if Texas Tech.
I would lean more other conferences.
I think other conferences will stick to it. Other coaches, I think that that'll happen for sure. But I just don't think that. I don't think the commissioner of the Big 12 will do what Sankey did against his own member team. I just don't think that.
Wow. None of the maniacs. Timothy Robinson, false. No. Jacob Powell, no. Everybody thinking no from the maniac standpoint. Let's quickly get to Ragged Glory. Ragged Glory, you're in on the Empowerment Training Consulting Hotline. What's on your mind?
Hey, do you feel me?
I do.
Yep. You get a chance to redeem yourself at the end here. I'll make this quick. I say let's drop the Pete Rose rule on Texas Tech. And he's turning over in his grave. He goes, well, hey, look what you guys did to me. Well, I think that we need to do it to Texas Tech. So I support anything and all sanctions and everything. So they need to figure it out and get their act together because this is just not right.
Agreed.
The devil's alive in Texas, man. and he's going to get his dues. So let's do it.
All right, DC. Thanks, Ragged Glory. DC, how bad do you have to be when you're hoping? And right now, there's two hopes to me, maybe three. Unionization of the athletes, because right now you can punish the schools, but you can't punish the athletes. So that's why Sorsby can go to court, but the school can't go to court. They can be held accountable because they submitted to the rules. The players, there's no formal agreement, DC, where the players submit to the rules of the NCAA technically. They're not represented, right? So you can have a unionization, you can have Congress make a federal law, or you're going to have to blow the whole thing up and start over. Or maybe they stand up, I guess the fourth one, they all stand up like this and start governing themselves and putting pressure on the schools to not play ineligible players, even though they're ruled eligible. Take it away and close it out.
Well, I was saying we didn't get to the legal arguments. That was one of the legal arguments in here, is that the student athlete has no voice in the making of these rules, and they have no voice, so there's no collective bargaining agreement. That's something that a lot of people talked about. There's no collective bargaining agreement in NCAA. So therefore, that's why the judge ruled against them. We know that's not why the judge ruled against them. That's the legal term that he used. So yeah, we're going to have some kind of something, and it's going to be the catalyst. I don't have any faith in the government to fix this. Not at all. I don't have any faith in Congress to do something like that to fix the NCAA. I don't have much faith in NCAA itself. I think it's going to have to be the ADs, the presidents, that keep the students all getting together with some type of voice that fixes this together, or it all goes down together.
Maybe the colleges are going to fight for unionization so that they have something in writing that they can hold the players accountable to.
Yeah,
and they can't go to court. Because right now, because they're not represented, they can take everything to court, and all they have to do is find somebody to agree with them. And that's a case by case by local judge decision. That's where our problem is. We didn't get to all of it today, but we will continue to work on it right here on the Martin Houston Show. We'll be back tomorrow, same back time, same back channel. That's DC Capstone Report. And hey, listen, I forgot to say it at the beginning, so I said it at the end. Remember that this is the day that the Lord has made, so let's rejoice and be glad in it. Take some time today to notice someone, love someone, serve someone, be the difference you want to see in the world today. And as you do that, trust in the Lord with all your heart. Lean not in your own understanding. All your acknowledge Him, and He will direct your path. Roll Tide, everybody.
It's a celebration.
Thank you for listening to the Martin Houston Show on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.